Going live. Hello everybody, we are live. Hopefully the stream is good. Hopefully everybody is happy. We had a few false starts this morning. My beautiful wife has joined me looking sexy as fuck.
Oh God, look, you've already gone up.
Yeah, we're up, we're in.
Sorry, I'm moving a bit.
You need to fit in the screen there.
I am going to fit in the screen, but we're behind.
No, I know, it will appear. Sorry, you're right, it is behind. There's latency. So again, we want to do a little live and get some of those questions and answers for you.
How does this work? Where even are we?
So we're filming here. This is in the back end of YouTube. My wife's never seen stuff before. Hey both, how are you? Yeah, Lee, we're very good, thank you. So look, obviously this drill testing trying time. My wife's looking surprised. She's just trying to work out how she can do this herself when I'm not around.
I literally was going to flash you before we went live as a lols.
Yeah.
And thank God.
Yeah, you were live. You were going live. I mean, everyone would have appreciated it. The viewership probably would have gone up. So we want to talk to you a little bit about, firstly, some advice that we've given on both of our social media stuff about routine and probably training. So a lot of people are panicking, saying that obviously there's no access to a gym. Apparently there's a worldwide shortage of dumbbells because people keep ordering them online.
That's amazing.
Which is great.
Go on the dumbbell industry.
So people are training at home. But we want to do this video really just to give us a little bit of some of our thoughts. Chloe's obviously way more qualified than I am. She's got some fantastic books out talking all about kind of training at home with home workouts. I've got a book out called Perfect Fit. But one of the things that Chloe sort of talked about in her post stuff was about routine and the importance of getting up. So for example, this is the first time in my entire life that I'm unemployed. I went straight from school into rugby, from rugby into speaking, DJing, and routine's key. Chloe's much more disciplined than I am at getting up in the mornings and stuff. I'm enjoying these leisurely lay-ins to about 9 o'clock, but then I'm getting up, having my breakfast, focusing on my nutrition because I'm still preparing for my fight, even though it might not go ahead. Got to keep preparing as we're going along, making sure that I enjoy my daily routine, having a coffee in the morning, answering my kind of emails, and then starting my day and then going to train once my food's digested. But you've got some thoughts on that, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been self-employed for like 8 years now. 8 years? Yeah, 8 years. And I used to, still from time to time, but used to suffer from really bad anxiety and panic attacks. And so for me, it was like quite a big transition mentally to go from having to get up in the morning and go to work and I kind of had like a discipline in place to kind of being on my own all day long and figuring out how to keep my shit together and keep discipline. So really good tips for people who've transitioned and are like completely struggling and head fucked on how to handle this is set your alarm every morning to get up at a good kind of early, I don't mean like 4 or 5 a.m, but like a good early start. Get up and get a morning routine down. So that could be going outside and walking your dog for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. It could be getting up and doing an at-home workout. Obviously there are loads floating around right now. I've got some on Amazon Prime, you've got some in your books. Yeah. Like there's loads happening like Instagram lives, so it's not hard to find. Or if you're not really into being active early in the morning because you hate training early in the morning, I love it, he hates it. Just get up, FaceTime or Skype and just check in with people over your morning coffee or your breakfast. Then I would say by mid-morning, make sure that you're sat down, ready to work, ready to get going. Focus on work, and I would say a lot of my followers are really struggling not to eat all day every day because something about being at home all day every day just makes you want to eat. So I would say set your alarm for appropriate like lunch, dinner, snack times in the day where you can get up and go get a snack. And then I would say by the time dinner time rolls around, make sure that you put the laptop down and you stop working. You get up, you cook some food, you have dinner, and you use that time to switch off and relax. Like I've always really struggled to know when to stop working, and it should be dinner time. Can you smell that? It's a weird smell.
What do you smell?
I don't know.
I haven't dropped my guts. If that's really
And I also recommend just get outside at some point in the day and just go for a walk, stretch your legs, get some fresh air, get some perspective, and basically just get a fucking routine in place. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course we swear. I think as well, one of the things Chloe touched on about reaching out to people. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of lonely people, and people who normally have a routine, who don't have a routine, are suddenly left with their kind of little inner voice. And for some people, you know, there's obviously a massive prevalence of mental health issues, whether that's anxiety, depression, and varying degrees of all that kind of stuff. And obviously spending a lot of time not doing things can make people bored, go a little bit manic. If you're bipolar, you'll be up and down. You know, it's really important to, with that routine, but also to make sure that you do things which will really help you with your you know, with your ailments. And for example, you know, things like anxiety, exercise and stuff is great for that. And also, I've always found if I've ever had stresses or issues in my life, the best way to go and switch off is to go and train, which is, you know, for me really important. So obviously some people are in the privileged position of having sort of gym equipment at home. Other people might just have a small area of floor. So I think Chloe's going to maybe do some live streaming you know, live stream workouts, basically giving you an idea of what you can do at home. Obviously, your body weight is a great tool. You know, if you've ever tried running on the spot flat out for 30 seconds, you'll realise that you can absolutely blow your lungs apart by doing that kind of exercise. So, you know, utilise your body, utilise things like chairs at home, obviously safely. And make sure you get a little workout in. You know, even if it's 20 minutes every day, it'll be great to switch off. If you've got kids, try and, you know, get your other partner, if you've got another partner, to look after them for a bit, and both of you, you know, try and find some time to escape, because quarantine on top of each other can be quite difficult. So you need to make sure you find that time to do things for yourself. So for a lot of people that might be going off training. For other people it's probably you know, maybe going off to read a book, answer some emails and do whatever. We've actually had a couple of questions in that I'll just come back to. So thank you very much who's tuning in. What am I doing since there's no rugby? Well, actually, I haven't been involved in rugby for a long time. We're still doing my House of Rugby Live podcast. Your podcast is starting again.
Yes, soon. I don't want to say too much. I've got like quite a few things happening today and next week.
Calm down, James Bond.
But I just, because I'm away from my laptop, I just want to make sure that I know exactly what it's on before I say anything.
Fine. Well, there's lots of things happening that will really help a lot of you who are interested in training and stuff around Chloe. There's content that both of us will be providing. Stay tuned on Chloe's Instagram, Maidly Chloe.
At Maidly Chloe, yeah.
And she'll give you updates on that. For me, I am going to focus on DJing stuff and music production and answering my emails.
To stay focused on something on work, some form of work. I mean, I'm fucking panicking right now because I'm self-employed. I've already lost so much money. It makes me get anxious just thinking about it. But the important thing is that I'm just trying every day to focus on work, and obviously everybody is in that position, so I'm also trying to not be a complete arsehole about it and put out as much free stuff as I can, and then put out as much cheap money making stuff as I can to A, help other people, and B, help myself. And I think that applies especially to self-employed people, but to everybody. Really try and keep working, keep focused, because it is quite an anxious time.
I've got quite a great comment here from someone called Callum Gatto. You're shit at rugby. I don't play rugby anymore. So thank you though. Thank you for your
also,
positivity.
Like, really, what a weird person you are.
I know, but you know what's really interesting on that point is that for a lot of people in normal society, when you're in your day job and everything else, that social media is a great place to check in, a great place to look at. Obviously, there's a lot of negativity in there. I think for once, this is where social media could really be quite a useful tool to help reach out to relatives, to help spread positive messages, to help spread advice of not fucking panic buying, not going out like mad people. There's obviously a lot of people who work for the NHS, who are working shift work, who are coming back after saving lives, who are being real heroes. We put sports people on pedestals, but, you know, NHS people, doctors, nurses are real heroes doing really amazing stuff. So stop panic buying because people aren't able to get to the shops in time and get all the food and all the necessary, you know, toiletries and bits and pieces. Think of the elderly, but also on social media. Let's be positive. You know, let's not be like Callum in any way, shape or form. Let's try
Nobody be like Callum.
Nobody be like Callum. Let's try to be really positive and share the message. What else we got? Hey guys, nice to meet you watching just before bed here in Hong Kong. Hello, Pure Energy for Life. Pure Energy for Life. That's very kind of you. Glad you're tuning in from all the way from Hong Kong. We appreciate all of our followers. You've got some followers from all over the place, haven't you? When you're looking around analytics.
Yeah.
You're like global.
I don't know if I have anyone in Hong Kong.
Well, you do now. You've got one.
Energy.
Hope you guys are all right and staying safe. Yeah, we are. We've basically decided completely and utterly to follow the government rules, not to leave the house other than to go for a walk, to get some exercise, maybe go for a drive. You know.
What is the situation if you don't? Like, what would happen if I just decided to, say, if I owned a pub, just open it?
You would potentially get in trouble. They arrested the first person on Isle of Man or Isle of Wight. Isle of Man or Isle of Wight for breaking curfew rules.
Curfew?
Well, the lockdown rules.
But why?
Because
Where was this person?
I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know.
Because I feel like walking around outside is fine.
Yeah, I think they were trying to do a pub or open a pub or do something like that, basically encouraging people drinking, because there was a lot of young people. I know YouTube's mainly a young person's platform that basically think they're invincible from this virus, but actually, if you look at the all the information about it, a lot of people differ in how they handle it. So even young people are very susceptible, obviously not necessarily fatally, as as older generations with pre-existing illnesses are. But you've got to be very careful as we react to things very differently. Hey James, I messaged you on IG basically asking how as a young rugby player I can put on mass with limited equipment. Well, I'll give you my wife over to that because it's going to be very tricky.
If you're already strong, trained, you have a good history of training, you're not going to be adding mass with limited equipment. You're just not. You need progressive overload, and in order to achieve that, you need to progressively increase your weights, which I doubt you're going to be able to do with home kit. However, the upshot is that you're not going to lose your muscle mass as long as you continue to use it. So that you can use just your body strength or, at-home equipment. As long as you're using it and firing the muscle, you ain't going to lose it. But also you need to make sure that you've got a really high protein intake throughout the day to keep encouraging muscle protein synthesis, which is incredibly important for all of us, but especially if you have physique goals. But yeah, in terms of adding mass, you're not going to do it likely unless you've got pretty substantial equipment available to you.
But you can also, what a lot of people get confused with is the difference between putting mass on and losing body fat and actually showing some definition. So after this period of a time in incarceration, you could get yourself leaner, show off more muscle. You could also develop some muscle as a young person. A lot of people I coach are young.
Newbies are new. If you're new to training, that advice doesn't apply. If you're new to training, you can gain muscle. Like you'll never gain that amount of muscle that quickly ever again, or that easily. So it depends.
And also a lot of young players that I coach. The camera's up there, by the way.
No, I'm just reading.
Right. A lot of young players who I've coached and stuff before have basically always want to rush into lifting weights. So many young kids, young players, kids who are at home with their parents, think that they need to go and lift weights to start off with. Absolutely not. One of my biggest regrets is as a young person from kind of age 10 onwards. Even the guys I train at the gym, the bloke's got a 3-year-old who can do 71 proper press ups at 3, and he can box better than I can. So obviously if you want to start your kids younger, that's fine. But I would focus on body weight work. So don't panic about having weights. You can do so much. So many of you can't do a press up properly. So many of you can't do a bodyweight squat properly. So many of you can't do a lunge properly. So many of you can't do variations of bodyweight exercises. Chloe's got hundreds in her book. I've got hundreds in my book.
My website should be launching at some point later today, and I've got a whole at-home training plan for people who are stuck at home. That they've also got a full nutrition guide in there with food Bible. I just realised what the smell is.
What?
I think I wore these to cook oven food and they smell like oven.
Oh, Chloe's an amazing chef, so she always smells like oven food.
Sorry, anyway, that doesn't make one an amazing chef.
No,
oven food is not an amazing chef.
No, but you're good at making food.
I am good at making food. Sorry, all I've got going around in my head is like turkey dinosaurs.
You've never made me turkey dinosaurs.
I fucking should.
I fucking hate turkey dinosaurs.
You're right.
I would never eat turkey dinosaurs. If you served them up, I would.
You're right.
I would never eat
them. You like chicken escalope? It's the same.
I don't want turkey dinosaurs. I don't want them. I don't want them.
You look like a turkey dinosaur, legitimately.
You look like a jelly.
Of what?
I don't know, a strawberry jelly.
Anyway.
I don't know.
At-home training plans, but also I've got that progress over 12 weeks, so that's good for kind of progression. But also nutrition plans, food Bible, meal plan, but also a tracking guide for people who do track or want to track. And then I've also got a gym plan on there, which I don't think is going to be selling particularly well over the next few months. No,
but I think you can make those improvements, and also you can monitor your diet. Haskell, at what point do we start donating money to you? Oh, Declan, that's very kind. I did say I'm unemployed, but I'm okay for the moment. There are plenty more willing, what's the word?
What?
Plenty more deserving people than me, but it's very kind of you to offer.
No, I'd like some donations.
Any more Back Row mixes? Yeah, Back Row Radio is my house music podcast. It's available on Mixcloud and Apple as a free free podcast. You can listen to it for home parties, home raves. Tonight, from 6 till 8, I'm going to be doing a live DJ set in the background here, so please tune into that. Hass, please do some fight companion style video podcast with House of Rugby crew with some old classic rugby games.
I think you should do a fight podcast as well. I mean, I know you're like a newbie.
Yeah, very much.
People might not like that, but I think it would be great.
We are going to keep doing House of Rugby live. We're doing a couple of shows a week at the moment, live streamed from obviously all our separate houses, which is quite good. What tech, camera, software for streaming workouts, wife's a PT, yoga trainer, and trying to connect with existing clients. Okay, well, I use, in the background, I've used a Canon M50 camera. I'm using a piece of software called OBS, which links the camera and the live stream to either Facebook platform, you can do Instagram, etc. Obviously, you can use Zoom for webinars. A lot of businesses are doing that. Love you two chatting on a video, loads of value and tips. We'll look back on this as a better, stronger people. Yes, David, thank you very much for positivity. Just binge watch House of Rugby, sorted, can't go wrong there. Well done, James, exactly. Afternoon, Chloe and Hask. Have you got any Watt Bike specific workouts, rugby that I can do? Kishman, if you go onto the Watt Bike app that can connect to most Watt Bikes, then you will find loads of various different workouts. Rugby is obviously all about low pace and then accelerations. So there's a few good ones there with good acceleration spikes. So for example, in the game, you're running, boom, accelerate. You're running, boom, accelerate for like 5 minutes or whatever.
Just so you're running.
Boom. That's it. So those are really useful ones. HIIT training. You've got some slightly longer distance ones as well that have some accelerations in there with like 3 or 4 peaks, which you'll be able to do. You guys are amazing. Love you so much. Love you both for House of Rugby. Isolation episodes have me crying with laughter. Keep going, guys. Brilliant. I appreciate that. Right, what's going on here? Hey guys. I think we've done them all. Hey guys, just had reconstruction of my shoulder. Any advice on food plan to keep weight on and not pile on weight like I did with my knee operation? I'll leave that to you.
Not gaining weight is just about not being in a calorie surplus. So you need to be eating at maintenance. Oh God, it's really hard to do without having your calories. What I will say is this: have protein in every meal throughout the day. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe have your carbohydrate intake earlier in the day, as it's your body's preferred form of energy, and then maybe switch that up and later in the day have fats instead. It's another energy macro that's really important for your body. But unless you're a keto dieter, which I don't think you are, or you probably would have said that, your body isn't really going to use that for energy first. But then by splitting up carbs and fats like that, you're going to be keeping your calories lower. But yeah, high protein intake throughout the day, and don't overeat, because the more calories you're piling in, the more that your body isn't going to be burning off that energy, so it's going to then store as fat. Yeah, there's loads of really great things you can do. I know it gets a really bad rap. I won't name any names, but there are some people in the fitness industry right now who are saying that intermittent fasting is a pile of shit and that nobody should do it, and I just strongly disagree with that. If you really struggle not to overeat on a day-to-day basis, especially in an environment like we're all in now, I would say implementing a once weekly fast, especially if you're injured. There's some really amazing research on what it can do for recovery. Would be a really good idea. But obviously that's subjective. I can't do that. I can't not eat for a day, but some people find it really helpful.
I think in this period of like isolation, you almost want to view it as a bit like a mini holiday to achieve all the things you said you didn't have time for. A lot of people make excuses about not having time. I understand if you've got a house full of kids now and you're not working, there's obviously other concerns, but trying to do some self-development is really important. So for example, actually starting a training plan, looking at some dieting, looking at once a week fasting, trying these things out, seeing how they suit your daily lifestyle. Maybe, looking at some of the mental health things, maybe reaching out, doing some online therapy sessions would be really useful. I think these are things that you can really, really improve on and are really useful. I think also there's a self-development in terms of doing some online courses. There's reading. There is, setting up a business you've always wanted to set up, whether that's some online stuff, doing some research. There's so much positivity that can come out of this, achieving all the things that you thought you could never achieve. And on that note with mental health, obviously again I said that it's really important to, in some of the other videos, to worry about what you can control. And obviously at this moment, so much is uncontrollable. And if you're prone to kind of what if thinking or concerning yourself with what's going to happen in the future, where you're going to be, what's going to happen, how you're going to pay the bills. If you can try, however hard that is, to center yourself back into things you can control, which I split up into three areas, which is firstly your body. So we've talked about training, diet, just doing something healthy. Even if you're not into training, even if you hate training, if you hate people like me and Chloe, then all you have to do is just go out then you have to just go out and go for a walk. Just do some exercise. Obviously in a socially responsible way. The second thing is how hard you work. So, for example, if you want to see this time as a depressing nightmare, waste your life away watching box sets and eating food, that's absolutely fine. But you're never going to get a time like this again, so you might as well use it to maximise yourself. And the third thing is how you treat other people. Chloe talked about at the beginning about FaceTime, reaching out to people. We've got a couple of little pen pals. I'm FaceTiming my family, friends, touching base with people. Some of your friends, if you don't have kids, I don't have kids, there'll be a lot of people, a lot of parents stressed, having kids on top of them all the time. Reach out, give them a little chat. There's plenty of people doing live streaming sessions, that's workouts, DJing, advice, cooking. Might be an opportunity to get into baking, whatever. Chloe's cookbook's got tons of recipes. I've got an entire cookbook called Cooking for Fitness. All of these are available on Amazon. Chloe's got stuff on her new website, which is launching imminently. There's a podcast she's got. There's My House of Rugby. There's loads of bits and pieces out there that we can really help you.
And Amazon Prime, it's free, guys. I'm not promoting it because I'm going to make an amazing amount of money from it. It's just a free at-home workout series. There's nutrition episodes. There's recipe episodes. It's just it's free. So I mean, even if you don't do it, James actually said something to me when we first started dating, which just stuck with me, which is
I love you.
That didn't stick with either of us. Lol, I'm joking. But what was I saying? What was the thing? Oh fuck, you threw me off.
I said that what thing I said to you in the beginning that stuck with you.
I can't remember.
What did I say that stuck with you? Sorry, I interrupted you. You said there was one thing a piece of advice that I gave. Piece of advice that I gave you.
Oh yeah, you don't have to follow a nutrition or diet plan or training plan that you pick up, read, watch, whatever. You don't have to do it. You can cherry pick or take knowledge away from it. It's just the more research you do, the more you look at plans, the more you're going to understand why people are telling you to do what. Why are people telling you to do HIIT training? Why are people telling you to do body strength? Why are people telling you to do resistance training? And you start to figure it out, and then you start to figure out how you are going to achieve your goal, because obviously we're all different and we all have a different goal. So yeah, I said this in my plan on my website, which is launching today. I said it doesn't matter. In the nutrition section, we've got food Bible and then a meal plan and then a how to track calories and macros, because some people don't want to track and some people do. And I basically said, I don't care if you do or don't track. I want you to read the whole section, because flexible dieters really might be able to learn a thing or two by going back to basics, by going back to a meal plan within their calorie and macro tracking. And then people who need a diet and a meal plan might actually look at tracking and be like, actually, I think I could do that, and I'd like more dietary freedom, which is what that provides. Anyway, talking. What I'm trying to say is try and look at everything, try and read everything, and you'll probably figure out how to achieve your goals a lot better.
Quicker, better.
In a more optimal fashion for you.
But one thing Chloe just said there about the tracking is really interesting. Chloe's fantastic at tracking. If when you go to a fairground or like a circus and there's like a jar of sweets, and they say guesstimate how many sweets are in there. Chloe is unbelievable at guesstimating. I, on the other hand, are appalling. I find tracking when I go out very difficult. I like to weigh everything and know what I'm doing. While you're at home at the moment doing, well, I say sweet, but hopefully doing the stuff we've talked about, there is an opportunity for you to start tracking food and understanding what you're putting in your body. So MyFitnessPal, the wonderful app that you get on your iPhones and smartphone, you can start weighing your food, getting an understanding of how good is your diet, how much protein are you having. You're a healthy eater. Let's see, if you're a vegan, you've gone vegan. See how much food you're actually getting in, how much carbohydrates versus protein your body's taking on. How many calories are you eating? So many people have got no idea, and so many people guesstimate wrong. So weighing actually during this process will be a really useful and interesting process for you to get an understanding and probably get some amazing results. I've just seen someone's put, please can you give me some tips on tackling rugby tackling mindset? It's a very rugby-centric one. This is from Callum Gaffney. Callum, tackling is kind of all about technique. I would say 70% about technique and 30% about, well, actually 60-40 technique versus mindset. You know, if your technique's right, more often than not, even if your mindset isn't quite killer, you'll get there. A lot of people don't know how to tackle properly. A lot of young kids, I was one of them, didn't really like tackling, didn't really want to do it, didn't like to go tackling low, thought it was going to be worse than hitting people in upper bodies. Now with all the new tackle laws, you know, you just can't get away with that. So firstly, it's tackle technique. So what I did after training every day was to take someone that was good at tackling. So if you're a young player, get a coach who understands how to do it, or get a teammate, and I would just do one-on-one live tackling the whole time. Not 100%, not trying to knock the shit out of each other, but little technique bits, focusing on how close I got my feet to the opposite man, how low, where I put my head position, and how much I attacked that player. Tackling is about attacking the player. You don't wait. Every time you see someone get ended, knocked out, or it's because they sit on their heels, they put their head down, or they panic, or they run in the wrong way. So that's firstly. Secondly, mindset is you've got to want to tackle that person. You've got to want to take him down at all costs. Sometimes you're not going to get the perfect tackle, but the ideal thing is to get someone on the floor as quickly as you possibly can. So think about those mindsets, but where you'll get the confidence from tackling is learning how to do it properly. And then once you get that, you can add the aggression and bits and pieces on. So that's my bit of advice there. Thanks for sharing, guys. James, please ignore the haters. You're great, and we should be best friends. Yes. During this time, would you consider going on the Rig Biz podcast with Archie Curzon? Archie, if you watch this, I doubt you will be. Yes, I will go on the podcast. I know you contacted me, but we'll get it sorted. What's your favourite type of sausage? Asking for Genji. You don't like sausages, really, do you? Well, not that kind of sausage.
I like heck chicken sausages because they fit into my macros super easy. But if I'm really, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I like a traditional Wars sausage.
I actually do like them as well.
I don't like these fancy, herby, caramelised, oniony.
No. I like Jolly Hog, do some nice sausages, but I also think that local butchers, I love going to local butchers or the meat deli counter and choosing food at local butchers. Really responsibly sourced, organic, you know, that kind of stuff's great. You really hungry, are you? We'll do 10 more minutes.
Hungry.
Any ideas for online courses or where to do them? Well, so for example, depending on what you want to study, there's loads of DJ courses on like sub bass or point blank that I would be interested in doing. There are online diplomas. Phil Lerney does a fantastic PT online diploma. There are loads of bits out there. You just got to do some research. Google is your friend and your tool. There's some open university courses that you can sign up to do pretty quickly. Any sausages? Any sausages that the selfish arseholes haven't bought up? Very true, Mike. Are you glad Marla went for the headgear now? Oh, this person, Darth Mong, he replies on our YouTube at House of Rugby, and I think he's either quite aggressive or I can't remember what I don't know what he's insinuating. But he's either nice or nasty.
I feel like, haven't the House of Rugby comment sections of everything, they started out being like pretty 100% amazing, and now they're like savage.
People get a bit toxic. I don't look at them.
So weird.
Love House of Rugby, well done from Scudder Monroe. Is there an app you have for all this fitness business? So Chloe's about to relaunch her website. All of my books, so Perfect Fit, Cooking for Fitness and Rugby Fit, are all available on Amazon. You can purchase now. I've got obviously the House of Rugby podcast. My beautiful wife has the podcast, which has got backdated episodes, which will be available on iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah, podcast is mega.
And then that's coming out soon.
Wait, hang on. Mike Oxlong, when is a door not a door? When it's a jar.
Very good.
I've been secretly sat here for the whole time thinking like, when? Tell us when!
Okay, Stuart Whitelaw, thanks guys, great advice. I've been a keen follower of intermittent fasting. It worked well last time. I will do some more research, but perfect advice about the macros. Well done, Foof. Is there any possibility of you coming down to any local clubs near Northampton? King of Kings, unfortunately, I'm going to listen to what the government say. I'm not going to leave the house. Purely because while I'm pretty certain that I would be able to beat this virus, I would beat this virus, I don't want to infect anyone else, and I don't want to get infected myself, because you know, while this appears like normal flu, or for a lot of people it's not. It's putting a lot of pressure on our NHS. You know, if there's only 40 beds in a hospital and we all disobey and 60 people turn up, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, guys, there's a reason why they're trying to avoid it going up like that before it falls down, and that's because we can't handle a spike like that. So can you just bear that in mind? If it's inevitable that so many people are going to get it, and they really are, try and really help the NHS out and try and be one of the ones that doesn't for the time being, so that they can deal with it. The idea that it's just going to go like that all of a sudden because people are being fuckheads and not listening to the advice is going to completely cripple us. So please just be smart and listen and think about other people.
This is very true. When my gym closed, this is from John Dale, I'm up in my road running, how to avoid shin splints.
You ain't going to avoid shin splints running on the road. Fact.
Fine.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Well, you've
had them, I don't have them.
I have them and I can't run anymore and I fucked myself. So basically, that impact on pavement, even if you have amazing trainers and you refresh them every 6 months, which is the first bit of advice, eventually that shit is going to catch up with you. I would say try to not run on the pavement, try to run on a softer surface. A treadmill would be ideal, but I don't know if you have that. Or try and do a different kind of cardio at home. What did they say they did before they started road running? Gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, do like body strength circuits and HIIT training at home, and that's A, going to be a lot more beneficial for your physique and your body. B, it's going to be a lot more beneficial for not getting shin splints. And C, it's just much more optimal training.
But also, depending on what your goals are, so, if your physique goals, you don't want to be road running because no one's ever gone, I want to rig like Mo Farah. No offence to
that's also
the
partly
mobile.
genetic.
What you want to do is, if you want to do running and increase your fitness for, say, rugby or sport, go to a local rugby club, find a field, run on the field, do shuttles, run around the field, run on the grass. Do not run on the road if you can avoid it. Stop taking the piss out. Okay, here we are. It's an interesting one here, right? James, I'm allowed to go out for a run and go a home workout, but I cannot get motivated because I feel it's less effective. What do you think? I think, Kieran, it's absolute bullshit, and I think you need to pull your fucking finger out, Chief. I think there's great motivation, I should say there's great inspiration online from people, but motivation comes from within. You either want to get in better shape, you either want to train, you either want to work. If you put the effort in, you follow a good plan. Now, this is one of the issues. There are a lot of pirates out online. There are a lot of people giving shit advice at the moment, and you need to really, really do your research and follow someone who's respected, who's done what who speaks clearly, who hasn't starved himself just for a fitness DVD, hasn't been on a reality TV show and just talks shit. You need to make sure you follow someone who properly gives good advice. Follow the plan, follow it to the letter, do the training at home, training in the garden, running, you will see results. You might not turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger, you might not be able to build a massive amount of muscle that you want to, but you could certainly lose weight, you can certainly hold on to it, you can certainly burn some body fat, and you could, if you're a newbie, get some good muscle gains by doing a lot of body weight work and seeing what you would want as a pump on. So yes, you can do that. Crisby, is it nice stepping back from the brutal sparring? Fuck yeah, it is. Very much so. Getting out of the gym. Who's got a better rig, you or Dozer?
You've got completely
different rigs. Yeah, completely different rigs.
I love Dozer.
How much water should you drink as a rugby player? Okay, this is very dependent on your body, how much you sweat, how hydrated you are. I have to drink about 8 litres a day because I am constantly dehydrated. I wake up 2 kgs down every morning because I've lost water through exhalation and from sweating, which is I'm not a big sweaty mess at night, but it just comes out. Well,
bed sheets say otherwise.
Well, yeah, but you never cuddle up to me and go, oh, you're all sweaty mess, am I?
100% all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and me when I've had a refeed day.
Oh, yeah.
Drenched in
So obviously I have to rehydrate. So looking at water intake is really important. It's actually Nutrition and Hydration Week. So if you head over to my CBD oil company,
a real thing?
Yeah, CBD oil company, Impact Sports CBD, which is on Twitter, on Instagram. Sorry, you will find out more information about what we're doing on that, giving good advice. Did you still get pissed on the shower? Did you still get pissed on in the showers at international level? No, not unless I paid someone to do it.
Loves a bit of water sports.
I love how you went with the actual professional name for it. Such a sicko. Water sports. Who would win an MO fight, Dylan Hartley or Luke Cowan Dickey? Oh, that would be a good fight.
Oh my god, that would be such a good fight. Who would win?
What equipment? I don't know.
Dylan.
Both vicious.
I just go for back Dylan.
What equipment do you have in your DJ setup? Looks like a proper lineup. I have got 2 CDJ 2000 Nexuses, 1 CDJ 1000, and a 900 Pioneer 900 SRT mixer. But I'm hoping to update some bits at some point. Who's got a better rig and lid, Colesy or Flatman or Coley?
Flatman.
No, I think Coley's got better. Coley's like in better nick than you think he is.
Do you know what's so weird? Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, currently aiming to change from loose head to back row. Any tips? Get the fuck out of the front row and stay in that back row, pal. Need to be much more mobile. Need to, obviously find out what your point of difference is. I assume that's why you've been moved across. So if it's your ball carrying, work on it and make sure you manage your areas you're not so good at. We'll probably do 5 more questions and then we'll give it a rest because we've been on here for about 34 minutes.
I'm hungry.
And my wife is hungry and she's losing impetus. I'm glad I found the channel because I'm finding it difficult to keep up my routine and I'm not used to working at home. Routine is key. Set yourself out a good guide. We talked about it at the beginning of the video. You will be able to listen to my wife's very sage advice. Set yourself goals. Write yourself a timetable. Goal setting is unbelievably important. Sometimes because we don't know how long this is going to take to end, you set big long-term goals, you've got fucking no idea what's going to happen. So what you've got to do is set achievable goals in a day. I'm going to tidy my office. I'm going to answer 10 emails. I'm going to go on social media for an hour and a half. I'm going to go and train for an hour. All these little bits and pieces and chalk them off and life will feel a lot better. Within your CBD company, do you have any ideas of possible graduate opportunity? Josh, we don't at the moment because we're solely online, but we will look into that because people are going to need some employment when this is all over, and if I can help, I will. Next guest for House of Rugby, we're working on that now. Best holiday that you've both been on?
I know your answer.
No, we've both been on. Porto.
Together?
Yeah, Porto, Maldives, Fiji.
Oh,
Ibiza?
Yeah, probably Ibiza.
Ibiza's a great place. Okay, last question. Ambitious. I've gone from 22 years at 7 and front row replacement to last 19 years enjoying the high life of competing at 1 covering 2. Poor Rupert. Get out of there, sir. If you're doing strength exercise and feeling pain in one arm or one leg and not the other, could that relate to incorrect form? If so, do you have any tips for perfecting form? Okay, well firstly, male ego is a massive issue when it comes to lifting weights because nobody wants to pick up the little weights or do body weights. Everyone wants to go on there and go, how much do you bench, mate? How much do you squat? When ultimately that means fuck all to a decent body, but I would prioritise technique by watching videos online. In my book, Perfect Fit, it's got a step-by-step guide. Chloe's books have got step-by-step guides. I would always prioritise form and time under tension, depending if muscle building is your goal, versus heavy weights and when you're starting out. Obviously, as you progress, the more weight, the more muscle fibers you're going to tear, and the amount of tension that they are under. More under, you'll obviously do that, but you need to progress. A lot of people rush in. Bad technique is a killer in the gym. So hopefully you've enjoyed all of this video. If you like this channel, please subscribe, please share. We're going to do more of these. I think we're going to come back maybe tomorrow with you doing a little hosted workout.
Maybe. I'm in a bit of pain today, so I'm going to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, right. I would quite like to train tomorrow.
Well, this week or some point we'll do something.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in, gang. We love you. Peace and love. Catch you soon.